Geats is a Marisu, Kabuto is a Marisu, yet there's one thing that separates them. Kabuto, Tendo Soji, is a well-written character.
Henshin!
First of all, what is a Marisu? A Marisu is a character archetype, usually female, that lacks any flaws. Their character is written in a way so that the audience is supposed to fall in love with their character, but usually have the opposite effect. Now let's look at the characters we'll be talking about, starting with Ace.
Henshin!
Ace is the main rider of his series, Kamen Rider Geats. He is the snarky type who teases his opponents with his skill to make them improve, because apparently he secretly cares about them but pushes people away due to him playing the games to save his mother from captivity, which he has been doing for like 2000 years. Tendo is the main rider of Kamen Rider Kabuto. He's the man who walks the path of heaven. A man who seems arrogant but backs up his trash talk with his skills. Anything he does, he's the greatest at. Cooking, fighting, anything. So why do I think Tendo is a better character than Ace? We first need to understand what a flat character is. I'm using K.M. Welland's book, Creating Character Arcs, as a basis. There are 3 types of character arcs described in her book. A positive character arc where a character changes for the better, a negative character arc where a character changes for the worse, and lastly, the flat character arc, where the character doesn't change. Instead, the flat character changes the world around them, and more importantly, the people around them. In a positive character arc, a character would start believing in a lie and eventually will reach their truth. Here's an example. Hajime from Kamen Rider Blade. Hajime believes that due to him being an undead, he's unable to love the people around him. That's the lie he believes. But throughout the story, Hajime learns that yes, he is able to love the ones closest to him. That despite being an undead, he is still able to find humanity in himself. That's his truth. But unlike a positive character, the flat character already has the truth in his hands. But it's how they use that truth to change a world full of lies. Here's an example of another character in Rider.
Rocket!
Gentaro from Kamen Rider Forze. He changes the world, or should I say school, around him. He doesn't grow as a character, which is fine because he helps other side characters to grow. Gentaro has the truth right in the beginning of the series, and his arc is to overcome the lie his friends are burdened with. So we come back to Ace and Tendo on why I think, despite their similarities on a superficial level, how one succeeds over the other. And I think the best example is how each of them treats their respective secondary riders, Keiwa and Kagami. The way Tendo treats Kagami at first may seem very antagonistic, but as the show goes on, you see that Tendo actually cares for him. He just shows it in his own weird way. Kagami needs to understand Tendo as a person first to get it. And even then, because it's so unusual for Tendo to care about anyone outside his family, he sometimes tries to pull away from Kagami. But by that point, their relationship had evolved and it wasn't as easy to do. Here's the best example. After a fight, Tendo asks Kagami to come to his house to eat with him. It seemed really weird at first, but since we know that making food for others is how Tendo shows affection, it shows how important Kagami is in his life.
そうだ。友達じゃない。今度うちに遊びに来い。とびきりうまいものを食わせてやれ。
Now, let's look at Ace and Keiwa's relationship. Right from episode 2, Ace uses Keiwa's naivety to his advantage. Sure, he gives Keiwa a motivation to save his sister in episode 8, but then in the previous episode, he sacrifices him, or like nearly sacrifices him for the ninja buckle. And when Keiwa is grieving his sister's death, Ace does nothing. He just says he trusts Tycoon, even though the last time Keiwa crashed out, it was literally about his sister being in danger. Ace should know better. Then after resetting the world, the only thing Ace can say to Keiwa is to forgive the person who killed his sister. Hate the sin, not the sinner, or whatever. And the show just expects us to believe Keiwa would be okay with that. While writing this, I realized something. The cast only needs Geats mechanically. He shows up to defeat the monster of the week, but whenever there's a character-focused arc, Ace is barely there. Now, characters don't need another character to grow, but Geats was involved in those early character moments. The biggest example was Neon when she was infected. Ace was there for her, yet as the series progresses, he distanced himself more and more from the cast. And for what? An arc where he doesn't even grow? Compare that to Tendo. As he bonds with people, he's no longer actively hostile. He still has his judgments, but he learns to help people in ways that are less harsh when needed. Tendo pushes his cast to grow. Ace pushes his cast away. That's the difference. Thanks for sitting through my mindless ramblings for kid shows. But look, I'm obviously biased here. I enjoyed watching Kabuto and I have issues with Geats, so let me know if you think I'm being a bit unfair and whatnot. And if you enjoyed this video, just like and sub, because I'm a small channel and it'll help me out a lot. I appreciate it. Thanks.